Patrick, it's official as of, I think, 30 minutes ago. Unanimous vote across Major League Baseball owners to get the Oakland A's out of Oakland and into Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, that stadium, it's one of the most phenomenons of American sports, because it was the last stadium in America to house both an NFL and a Major League Baseball team. And it was and also possums and other rodents were I remember when I was there once. Hell, it was 30 years ago. They had a raccoon in a clubhouse or something. They had to try to get rid of the raccoon.
Is that part of the contract? Do we travel the rodents to Las Vegas, or do we leave
I don't
them?
know if they do or not. But that's something that you knew was going to happen. I think this, one of the crazy things about modern baseball too is everybody who's planning these new stadiums hold like 35,000 maximum. It's I guess high price tickets and good seats are the secret. But I think this dome was going to cost $1 billion in Las Vegas, and it's only going to seat a little over 30,000, I think. So, but they don't give us any idea. They're going to play this year in Oakland for sure because they still have the lease, and then after that, they might have to play a couple of years outside in Las Vegas at the minor league ballpark, which holds 10,000 or something like that. Or maybe they can put in some bleachers and hold a few more. But the other thing about the Vegas, when you play there at night in the summer, they start those games about 8:30 because it's 120 degrees or something during the day. So it's this owner is vilified in Oakland, not only because he's moving the team, but he won't say anything. He won't talk to anybody. He won't, he's too, Trevor May got let him on his. But then when he was announcing his retirement, he was also vilifying the guy as what a scumbag he was. So Anyway, they're definitely getting the sweetheart owners there. They got Mark Davis, and now they got this guy, Mark Davis, who fired his GM and his coach and had no idea who to replace them with. But anyway.
This is the same thing that Kroenke did, though. When Kroenke moved the Rams from St. Louis back to that's why he had security in all of the bathrooms on the road if it was a public bathroom because they don't want to talk, and so they do not want to allow the newspaper people or the reporters near them.
Yeah, because they knew Jim Thomas, the beat writer for the St. Louis paper, would have followed him right in the bathroom if he could have to get, And you're pretty. If you're at the urinal, you're pretty. You're pretty locked in there for a couple of minutes anyway, right?
Got to go stall.
So what would happen? Because I remember that too. What would happen if it was the Gopher Stadium, wasn't it? It was that press box.
TCF Bank Stadium.
So
because that's.
It's a public bathroom, not public to like the fans, but anyone who's up there in the press box can use that bathroom. If Kroenke goes in and his security guard is standing arms crossed outside the door, and you gotta go, what are they gonna physically stop you from going in?
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
I gotta go.
It's that guy's a jackass, but he's won a Super Bowl, a Stanley Cup, and now an NBA championship too. Yeah. He owns Denver. He owns the Rams, and he owns both. Does he own both teams? Is his hockey team at Denver?
I think, he's involved in the Avs as well.
Yeah, so he won the Avalanche. He's won with the Avalanche, and he's won now with the Rockets. So the Nuggets. So, boy, you're old when you call the Denver basketball team the Rockets, which was about 40 years ago when they changed it. When they came into when they merged, they had one of them had to stop being the Rockets because they were the Denver Rockets and the Houston Rockets. So one of them had to stop being the Rockets, and they became the Nuggets.
Yeah. So, well, hey, since we're staying on baseball here, another. I don't think it's shocking, but there wasn't there another hearing yesterday? The Star Tribune's reporting on it, just in terms of like the TV chaos across baseball.
Yeah.
And if there was There was a floating nugget in one of these, like it was like the Athletic, that the Twins may still be willing to strike a 1-year deal with Bally's and Diamond Sports Group. It sounds like that is off the table now as of yesterday's reporting. So what do you think they do?
Sounds like they're done with the Timberwolves and the Wild too, right?
After this season, yeah.
After this season, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's they basically the guy, the lawyer that was there at the hearing yesterday said they're dissolving the company. They're Bally Sports, which is owned by Diamond Sports, is going out of business. So that's the Twins are not alone here. MLB is going to have to, Manfred, now that he's got the pitch clock, now he got a bigger problem to solve, which is how to get some of that TV money. Baseball, well, I guess not always more dependent, but baseball's certainly more dependent on regional TV money than the NBA is. The NBA's got huge national contracts, but the NHL and baseball need those regional contracts, at least in markets like this. So I don't know what they're going to come up with. I mean, how are they going to deliver it to us to make us pay $30 a month or $25 a month? That's what
some of us would just, however they deliver it, would pay 25 or 30
sure,
bucks a
month. But I mean, how are they going to get people your age, not Judd, he's a little old, but you two guys, how are they going to get something to get Declan's generation and your generation, Phil, to give them $25 a month to watch the games? What are they going to do?
Well, I will say this. I think what's fascinating is we went from, for a long time, cable prices kept kind of going up and up, and we were kind of, but the good news was for 20 plus years, for me anyways, the reason I had cable, the number one reason was to watch local sports. And then I would dabble in some of the other things, but you wound up getting, in retrospect, a pretty nice discount if at the end of all this, all of these local sporting teams are going to get $20 or $30 each out of my pocket every month, which is what could wind up happening.
Yeah. And I think, don't you really think that Comcast and I mean, the technology was coming and they couldn't have stopped it, but their death did not have to come as rapidly until they just started screwing people, right? I mean, it just, when you're all of a sudden, if you want good stuff, you're paying $300 a month. It was, and if you didn't, every month you'd lose. If you didn't pay more, you'd lose something basically. And I just don't know how you get the streaming world, which is where you're going, obviously, that cable, and nobody's going to go back to bother with cable here. I mean, it'll be available on cable, but you just got to get that generation which is used to getting things for pretty much free, going on the internet and getting stuff for free. You got to get them to pay, and I don't know how you're going to do that. Is there enough interest in baseball? I mean, there's enough interest to go to a playoff game on a Tuesday because you heard your buddies had friends there the day before, right? But is there a hardcore baseball crowd that's going to pay, that's going to go anywhere near raising $50 million in regional TV money for them? I don't think it's out there. I don't.
But I mean, the Twins are claiming that over the last few years, they're leaving like 75% of their potential audience can't watch the games in Twins territory.
Yeah.
So then the question would be, if they just opened up, hey, these games are going to be available for no cost to everybody in Minnesota, North Dakota, everywhere, could they make more money in advertising revenue off of a bigger audience? Or would they whiff on the bigger audience and now they're not getting the direct to consumer money? That's the business.
Yeah, you're right. It's got to be, they've lost a lot of clients. I know a couple of people that I know in the corporate business used to pay to have the advertising imposed on the back of they changed the board on the behind home plate, and they cable went away and their games went away, they just said the hell with it. They stopped doing that because they were getting no bang for the buck. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to, as far as the new generation and everything, but I don't know. There's got to be some genius over there who hasn't been hired yet, who could come up with this. Some 28-year-old graduate of MIT that can figure out how to deliver this and get people to do it and to somehow make back a good
Derek Falvey, young genius. He can transition to television.
We want Derek concentrating on putting a team together and
right.
and not we don't. That's the secret of success is still winning some games, right?
Here's the thing, Pat. Though that this is all going to end with some type. I think Major League Baseball is going to need to step in here. And ultimately, I think they need to tell everyone who owns teams, we're going to help you stream games. We're going to come up with a new product, but we're going to have to all share. And the Yankees and Red Sox will go ape bleep, but it's the best thing.
Yes. And the other thing is, they've been so stupid. Like Iowa, if you wanted to have a baseball package in Iowa, there's 6 teams that you can't watch if you buy unless you have that. I did see a quoted, I think in that story I read today, is that Manfred they want a universal solution. They want me to, okay, I'm a baseball fan and they want me to be able to pay my $30 a month and watch whatever game I want to. But you're right. The Yes deal in New York was $600 million a year. The Yankees aren't saying, "Hey, yeah, sure, you can divide that baby up to make it $20 million for everybody. Everybody gets $20 million." That's not happening. So
it's like they'd almost have to, if they did have some sort of deal with, hey, all right, all 30 teams are going to go into a bucket like MLS did because we just want to make it super easy for everyone to watch games. They'd almost have to go into the back end then and say, for teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox, like the bigger audience teams, and say, okay, we can go in and see the analytics of, the Yankees had a disproportionately large audience on streaming, and so they get a bigger percentage of the pie or something like that.
Yeah. Or
it's the only way they would say
or
yes.
You can keep half of your local and divide the rest of it. But here's the thing about them. Where were they 5 years ago when they saw this happening? When they saw the cable, every year you'd look and the cable would lose 10% of its audience, 12% of it, maybe 8 years ago.
You know where they were 5 years ago? They were 5 years ago. They were 5 years late debating things like electronic strike zone. They're always 5 or 10 years late on everything.
And guess who else was? They were at the same place that newspapers were around 1999. They were hoping the problem would resolve itself without having any idea where the problem actually was.
Yes, that's
so newspapers did. They killed themselves.
Yeah, to some degree, although that's, getting it on the doorstep is that crowd was going to go away. That's for sure. I'm still there. I still like it because when Chip Scoggins does a piece like he did Sunday on our guy Lawrence Maroney lamenting his friend Marion Barber and 100 inches, great. You get the art, when you look at the internet, it's a great read, but when you pick up a newspaper, it's like it's fantastic. You got to read it. You got the photos, and you got the photos make it twice as good, but not most people don't agree with that these days. Obviously, I mean, I see the paper. Sometimes I'm roaming around. Being old guys, we roam around at 4:30 in the morning, and I see the guy who used to stop at 12 houses in the neighborhood stop at 3. So to drop the paper off at 4:30 in the morning, I don't know what newspapers could have done to stop it, but now we got analytics. Well, Phil has looked at them too. Your analytics to get people to listen to the station and various things. They got
Mm-hmm.
they're late to the analytic world. I'll tell you that. That's for
Well,
sure.
it's funny. Like in the audio, radio business and podcast business, you get this is super inside baseball. But when you talk to advertising agencies or advertisers, like they want to know, okay, when someone clicks play or someone turns on the radio, how do you know that they actually heard your advertisement, right? And then so that's always been a big question for 100 years. Like, do people turn the dial when the ad comes on? Do people click skip, right? For newspapers, it's the same thing. I have a neighbor that every day gets the hard copy of the Star Tribune, and we'll go out in the morning and take Maya for a walk, and there's the newspaper sitting out front of the door. Go back out in the afternoon, newspaper still sitting there, and they're wrapping. Like, these digital platforms can tell you 100% if somebody consumed the ad too. So it's like there's a whole business question too. If you're advertisers, you want to know, like, I'm spending money on something, is it landing with people?
Well, without hitting too close to home, AM radio, when they started not putting them in cars, we should have gotten an idea that this isn't going to be good. So,
and that was the first jarring moment for the radio industry. It was like, okay, for 100 years, radio controlled their distribution. If you had a tower, it was available, right? Until car companies came in and said, actually, we're going to control distribution now.
Yeah.
We're going to put whatever we want on that dashboard.
That's true. But I don't know what the baseball solution is. But I remember I'm just thinking 6-7 years ago. I remember thinking, what are they going to do if they lose this regional TV money? Because it's so. I mean, the NFL doesn't have any. They don't worry about it. They got, and. Then it certainly doesn't help when the World Series is a very good World Series is played, and because it's not played by the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Cubs, you got the same rating as a very bad Thursday night NFL game. Maybe not as good as a very bad NFL Thursday night game. So
right, but then again, in the NFL, it's like so baseball. Man, there's a couple obscure markets that are playing in the championship series and no one's going to watch. But in the NFL, if the Jacksonville Jaguars played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or something, the ratings might dip a little that year in the Super Bowl, but a third of America would still have their TV on for the championship.
Yeah, it is astounding to me because honest to God, my consumption of the NFL is at an all-time low. Probably I watch the Vikings and I watch, if the Detroit Lions are in a shootout in the fourth quarter, I might watch that. But the rest of it, I don't care about because I don't gamble and I don't play fantasy football and I don't do anything. I'm perfectly content to watch Red Zone for a half hour and see if anybody scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
Which is actually incredible because the glorious thing among them about Red Zone is no advertisements at all.
No,
which is the greatest thing in the history of the world. But like they basically are so powerful, they can have a premium platform channel and not run ads.
Yeah,
think about that.
Oh, it's fantastic what how they can gouge you in so many ways. It's unbelievable. It's and there's the violent game and the close plays and all that. But the other thing is it's once a week. Your boys are playing once a week. You don't have to, you can say, oh, good. I can get drunk tonight so then I can be hungover and get drunk again tomorrow to watch my football team play on a weekend. But, I can't do that. Even in my drinking days, I couldn't do that if I was following baseball. I could, you can't get hammered like 6 straight nights watching games.
Just 4.
You got to take a couple off, don't you? Like
just 4 straight nights. It's all
the Black Friday game this year for the NFL is a game changer now. So now I can't remember the last time we had a Friday football game.
Black Friday night game.
First.
Oh yeah.
How many Friday nights are they going to do? I knew they were doing something.
Just one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one. They basically looked, Pat, at every night that had a sport or team. Like Christmas. Christmas used to be the NBA's day, right? Football's like, let's just take that one. And now it's like college football, Black Friday used to be the college football day. the National Football League's like, screw them. Let's take that one away.
But college football kind of took their own, like the Texas A&M Texas game. Didn't that used to be? College football kind of like. I will say this: the NFL has been respectful, waiting for high school football to get done before they start looking at Friday. Usually the championships are done, right?
The Big Ten hasn't been, by the way. Didn't they have Friday, 3 or 4 Friday games there for a few years, and they got a lot of people.
They still do.
Playing.
Yeah. They still play some.
They still do have Friday night.
Oh yeah, they're meaningless.
Our boys haven't had any, have they? How about our guy PJ, man? It's all in that NIL. That NIL that's destroyed our team. They got one guy that left playing like half the time out at Oregon. The rest of them, they ran off, but he's trying to make it sound like he lost his whole team. It's all on me, but guess what? None of it's on me. It's all on the NIL, and it's because you people are too cheap to give us money to bribe players, and we're going to lose our whole roster. Well, you just got your ass kicked by Purdue. Maybe we're lucky. You're going to lose your whole roster. Try over again. Get some players here.
Well, that would be his better argument. Would be not that he's losing players. That he go find a quarterback. Can someone give me $100,000 to find a quarterback? Yes. God,
can throw it in the same building as his receivers are. It's God Almighty. Oh. He's making it hard, man. He's making it hard not to. Suhan went after him this week, so it's kind of hard to go after him right afterwards because then it turns him into a martyr. I don't want to do that. I'd hate to do that. I hate to turn him into a martyr if everybody's going after him. But he's brought it on himself here with this ridiculous stuff he's up to. And go back and read the quotes about this team that he gave us in September when they started. I have never felt so good about a team and blah, blah, blah. And now it's we don't have a chance because we lost all our depth and we have injuries. Yeah, they got like 3 guys hurt. Okay, and a bunch of running backs, but running backs aren't their problem. They always find another one. I'll give them credit for that. Yeah. But it's you can't tell us in September how great you feel about your team and we got no chance now.
Do you think he tries to go even like a lateral move somewhere that just as a fresh start, or do you think we're still a couple years away from that?
I think I think this season has eliminated him from obviously Michigan State and jobs like that. But plus Big Ten coaches don't go to other Big Ten schools hardly ever. But where's he going to? I don't know if there's a school out there that was looking for a coach that's going to pay him $6 million. He's not getting A&M. He's not getting a job like that. He's got a hell of a contract here. So
A&M apparently, unless I got duped by fake social media posts, A&M back-channeled to Dan Campbell, who I believe played college football there.
Oh, I bet that's true. Yeah. Well, Jimbo. They were 6-4. I just looked it up. They're right now. They're the 5th recruiting. They've had great recruiting classes. They're rated number 5 nationally right now. So what it is after they lose him. So how Texas did this? They ran off their coach. Then they ended up with Sarkisian, who's doing okay, but a sober Sarkisian instead of a drunk one that they used to have at Southern Cal, right?
Yeah.
And but that's from Jimbo to a Sarkisian, that's not an upgrade. So where do they go? What's the upgrade? Southern Cal stole Lincoln Riley away, and now they're all mad at Lincoln Riley because they can't tackle anybody. They give up.
Yeah, did they watch Big 12 and Oklahoma football for the last 10 years?
Yeah,
we can't play defense. Did you watch Oklahoma?
Yeah, they're insane. They're insane. They're 6-4, and they just beat somebody 51-10, and they're playing a bunch of freshmen, and they got this. They had a great recruiting class, and now they got another great recruiting class lined up, and they got a lot of NIL money down there. If you can pay them $75 million, how can it ever make sense to flush $75 million down the toilet?
It doesn't. When you're bored and have nothing else to follow, I guess, as a community, you flush that money.
I got to go back, and as the turkeys approach here, I got to go back and look at when we remembered the alliance. Remember when we formed the alliance and we weren't going to eat each other's young anymore?
Yes.
Our guy Kevin Warren was big in the alliance, wasn't he? He helped form the alliance. He got a great big bonus when he left the Big Ten office too for the TV deal, right? Didn't he? I think he got a great big bonus.
He's living a good life, Kevin Warren.
New TV deal. So.
Yeah. Well, Pat, we gotta run to some scoops here with our guy Doogie, but I think we just solved the sports media business landscape in these 25 minutes. Pretty sure we just solved it.
I think we solved it for baseball. They're screwed.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's the way it is. All right, gents. Have a good Thursday.
All right, you too, Reusse Unchained. By the way, today is Give to the Max Day. Just a quick shout out at Score North. We are getting behind Secondhand Hounds. We're a bunch of dog people here at Score North, and Secondhand Hounds is a great nonprofit animal rescue that looks to rescue dogs from kill shelters, owners who can no longer provide care, other bad situations, and get those dogs and pets into permanent loving homes. And so even if you can give us $5, $50, whatever it is, scorenorth.com/donate. Our friends at Nutrisource have matched the first $1,000 raised, so we thank them for that. scorenorth.com/donate.